On a warm, quiet afternoon, sunlight poured through the tall windows of the magnificent Marrow estate, illuminating every inch of the luxurious drawing room. The golden frames, deep red curtains, and polished marble floors glowed, almost as if they were alive. But right in the center of all that elegance lay something that didn't belong. A mountain of money scattered across a heavy oak table. 50s, 100s, and 20s lay like fallen leaves in autumn. Slumped on the ornate leather sofa behind it was Alaric Voss, a billionaire known for his sharp mind and a reputation that was colder than ice. His eyes were closed, but not from sleep. It was from intention. Because today, he wasn't just resting. He was testing. He was conducting an experiment that would reveal a truth he never, ever expected to find. Before we continue with this incredible story, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of human compassion, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to World of Kindness. And we love hearing from you. So tell us in the comments which country or city you're watching from today. Let's see how far our community reaches. Earlier that day, Alaric had overheard one of his board members complain that, and I quote, "Poor people grab money the instant they see it." The comment was smug, dripping with arrogance, and it irritated him. But more than that, it sparked a deep curiosity. Was it really true? Or was the man just another out-of-touch voice in a boardroom filled with privilege? To find out, Alaric decided to create a dramatic, real-life test. The plan was simple. Leave a fortune openly on the table, pretend to fall asleep, and see who, if anyone, would take advantage of the situation. But here's the twist. He wasn't testing his executives or his wealthy associates. No, he was testing Mara, the young daughter of his maid. Mara was only 7 or 8 years old. She was small, quiet, and wore clothes that had been mended so many times that the patches had become part of their design, a testament to her family's struggle. She never asked for anything. She never complained. She would just wait patiently in a corner of the grand estate while her mother, Estelle, cleaned the house. Her simple, unassuming innocence was something that often unsettled the wealthy people who saw her, because it reminded them of a world they had long forgotten, a world of need and humility. The stage was set when her mother, Estelle, stepped out of the room to go wash some linens. Mara was left all alone in the vast drawing room with the sleeping billionaire. That was Alaric's cue. He loosened his expensive tie, leaned his head back against the plush leather, and began to feign a deep sleep. He didn't know what he truly expected. Would the little girl run away, scared of the strange scene? Would she cry for her mother? Or would she do what the board member had predicted? Would she steal? Perhaps out of greed, or maybe out of pure, heartbreaking desperation. What he didn't expect, what he was completely unprepared for, was the overwhelming silence that followed. Mara saw the money instantly. Of course she did. It was impossible to miss. Her eyes widened, but not with hunger or greed. It was a look of fear. She took a hesitant step closer to the table, her little body tense. Her small fingers trembled as she reached out and just barely touched the crisp edge of a single bill. From across the room, even with his eyes closed, Alaric could feel the storm of conflict raging inside her. It was palpable. Then, she did it. She lifted a single, crisp $100 bill from the pile. Alaric's heart, which rarely missed a beat, stumbled. This was it. This was the moment the world proved itself to be as cynical and predictable as he secretly feared. The board member was right. But then, something incredible happened. She slowly, carefully, placed the bill back on the table. She smoothed it gently with her tiny hand, almost as if she was trying to erase the fact that she had ever touched it at all. And then she whispered something. Her voice was so soft, so shaky, it was utterly heartbreaking. She told the money, not him, but the money itself, that she would never steal. She whispered that her mother had taught her that honesty was the only thing they truly owned, the one treasure that no one could ever take away from them. Her quiet confession continued. She wished, oh how she wished, she could buy medicine for her grandmother, proper shoes for the winter, a warm blanket for her bed, but not with stolen money. Never with stolen money. And then, Mara did something that completely shattered Alaric's cold, protective armor. She reached up and removed the tiny, worn wooden hairpin from her messy ponytail. It was a simple thing, probably worth nothing, but it was the only pretty thing she owned. She placed it gently, reverently, on top of the massive pile of cash. It looked like an offering. A trade. A promise. She whispered that she hoped the owner of the money would find her hairpin and know that she had tried her best, that she had been good. Alaric felt a sharp sting behind his eyelids, a feeling he hadn't experienced since he was a small boy. The little girl then stepped back from the table, folded her hands neatly in her lap, and sat quietly by the window, waiting for her mother to return. Just trying to be strong, trying to be the good daughter her mother had raised her to be. Alaric couldn't pretend anymore. The test was over. He opened his eyes. The afternoon sunlight hit him like a revelation. The mountain of money on the table was suddenly meaningless. The entire test felt foolish and insignificant. But the small, worn hairpin lying on top of that pile, in that moment it was the most valuable, the most precious thing anyone had ever given him. He stood up, his movements slow and deliberate. He picked up the hairpin, walked over to where Mara was sitting, and knelt down to her level. She looked terrified, her eyes wide with panic, thinking she had been caught and was in terrible trouble. But he didn't scold her. Instead, he gently placed the hairpin back into her tiny, trembling hands. And he told her, with a sincerity that shook his own voice, that she had just taught him a lesson that no amount of wealth, number business deal, no boardroom lecture ever could. He promised her genuinely deeply that from that day forward, her life and her mother's life would never be the same again. Because kindness, honesty, and a purity of heart like hers, that deserved the entire world. This story is a powerful reminder that true wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in character. If this story touched your heart as much as it touched ours, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World of Kindness for more inspiring content. And before you go, we have a question for you. What would you have done if you were in Mara's place? Let us know your honest thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.